Greetings, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are in the world watching this, all you precious saints out there on the internet, and welcome to the home of Salvation Radio. My name's Annie.
And my name is Martin.
Although you might think we're called Holly and Ivy by the way we're dressed now, but this is Christmas garb for Christmas 2023. We are your hosts on this radio station.
And we are a husband and wife team who run a professional recording studio in Ramsbury near Marlborough in Wiltshire. And a lot of music has been recorded here over the years. And here in our live room, we have a lot of space. We have a lot of lovely vintage equipment as well as some state-of-the-art equipment. Annie and I have had to pray and ask the Lord to guide us on how we would like to use the space, or how it would best be used for the Lord. And essentially, we got the idea, both of us, for running a Christian radio station. So we thought, what can we call it? Salvation Radio seemed like a great name. A lot of people liked it. So we thought, okay, so we prayed together and separately, and we were both given this idea. So we thought, right, we've got to see this through. So over to you, Annie.
Well, a few years ago, in fact, during lockdown, when I was walking our Black Labrador through the woods, and I was asking the Lord how best to serve him in the years ahead, now that my children are all grown up. And I heard him say very distinctly, be a herald. So at the time, I thought, that's interesting. What does being a herald involve exactly? Well, I've been involved in Christian bands and worship music for many years, but now that we've reached this point, I understand that being a herald is also being involved in broadcasting the Word of God. So we are about to launch this internet-based independent Christian radio station in January. And there are a few of these in America, but not very many in the UK. So we feel like there are some more voices that need to be heard in our country. And the church, as we know, it's heading for tough times ahead. Jesus said the night is coming when no man will be able to work. So we need to make the most of the time. We need to redeem the time. And the harvest is great, the Lord also told us, but the labourers are few. So we want to put out a call today to all those who would like to be labourers in this particular part of the vineyard.
So our plan is to launch Salvation Radio in the new year. We are building a website, a Facebook page. We're going to have a YouTube channel, a Rumble channel, all sorts of social media. Really, we're going to put it out on. So what about the content? Well, there are three main areas that we want to focus on, really. And obviously, as musicians, Christian musicians, we want music to be quite high on the agenda. But we are also looking for singers, songwriters, solo artists, musicians of all varieties, because we want to invite you to the studio where we can live stream, or we can pre-record your music, your speeches, your messages, and put them out on the platform. If you need musicians and singers to bring your songs to life, we have our own studio session musicians and are perfectly capable of organising this for you.
Another area that we feel is very important to cover is getting the Word of God out there and encouraging people in their study of the Bible. So we would love to hear from preachers and teachers and evangelists who would be prepared to do podcasts or interviews or presentations, debates or discussions, maybe verse by verse Bible studies as well through different books of the Bible, or topical issues such as things like struggling with backsliding or discipleship training in general and growing to spiritual maturity, how to live well in relationships, which is getting increasingly difficult in our world. And then there are the hot topics that the mainstream churches are not always very good at looking at in detail, such as prophecy and the end times, spiritual warfare, and the place of Israel in God's plans and purposes, which is so important. Now we see what's going on in the Middle East. We need to get a good grasp as Christians on why Jerusalem, why the Bible is Jerusalem-centric, and what God is doing, and how we might expect to see geopolitical events align with biblical prophecy. We'd also love to provide a platform for Christian authors to serialize their books, do podcasts, or even do live readings of them on air. So this brings us to you, Martin.
Thank you, Annie. Education is a very important part of our lives, really. All of our lives. It's a continual thing. We don't just go to school and learn. We continue to learn throughout our lives. It's really high on the list of importance in the world, I think. And, of course, as parents and grandparents, we realise there is a need for education in this ever-decreasing, morally broken-down world where Christian Judeo values are being eradicated from our schools and from our education system. So we would love to provide, and we do actually have a link as well, a few links with Christian Education Europe, which is so helpful and brilliant, to be honest. The work they do is amazing. So we would like to broadcast as well spots for children, afternoon spots, teenagers, young adults. Everybody is to be involved, really. So if you're a teacher, or you're a Christian educator, or you're a home education group, then please do contact us, get in touch, and we would love to talk about what we can do and what we can broadcast for you to keep these youngsters on the right path in life. Over to you, Annie.
Well, I agree. We need to try and reach what has become the lost generation, surely. So there, you see, we have many, many ideas about what we can do on this radio station, but we do now need contributors to help us. So you might be someone who's very experienced and feel straight away, yes, I could do that. I could do a regular slot and teach my subject very well. Or you might be someone who's thinking, well, I think I could, but I don't feel really ready or qualified to do it. Well, I would just like to say to you, God says that when he calls someone, he qualifies them, and he qualifies those he calls. So we're not massively qualified in broadcasting yet, but we're all learning on the job, but we're answering the call that the Lord has put on our hearts. So I'm going to shamelessly be reading from a list here because we have so many ideas and so many people that we'd like to contact us, basically. So are you a Christian author who has been longing for an opportunity to record your book and have it broadcast to the nation? Are you a Christian musician, a composer, a songwriter, a singer who has been longing to get your music and your voice heard? Are you an evangelist on fire to preach the gospel? Are you a preacher, a teacher, or a pastor who needs a platform to boost your message? Are you one of God's faithful watchmen on the walls who has been keeping a close eye on geopolitics and seeing how it's now lining up with events globally? Are you a youth worker, a teacher, a Christian educator, or a homeschooler who would love to put out some material for other people doing the same thing? Or are you an IT expert or a sound engineer who would like to get involved in a project like this? If you are, then we do ask you, please contact us.
We know there are many people out there the Lord has given great gifts to, and we know that you need to use those gifts also. And so we can't wait to hear from you, quite frankly. to organise something and get you on board and get your voice out there, get your music out there, get your message heard. So please contact us by email at wiltshirestudios1@gmail.com or by phone on the studio line 01672 216 521, or you can ring me on my mobile 07909 721 564, or you can ring Annie's mobile 07534 311 811. Thank you. Over to Annie.
Well, we really appreciate if you've taken the time to watch this whole video through to the end, and we hope it will resonate in some of your hearts, and we're looking forward to seeing what God will do over the next few years. So if he has put something on your heart, please, we ask you to respond and to share this as well with as many people as you can think of, your contacts, your families, your friends, your church, people that the Lord will inspire you to contact and share with. And we hope very much that we will hear you and see you in the future. So it just remains for us really now to wish you a very, very happy Christmas, a very blessed Christmas, and a happy new year with many new adventures for all of us. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, and we hope to see you in the future.
Yeah.
Happy Christmas to all of you.
Happy Christmas.
Now she's gone, let me do the whole thing on my own. I'm sure it'll be great.
Whew, now he's left the room and I can do all the bits that I really wanted to do. And he was saying, no, you can't do that. It sounds bonkers. So here we go.
You've been doing bits again while I've been out the room, haven't you? Saying things about me. I just know you have.
No, I didn't. I stuck to the script. Look, I promise you, I didn't add anything on. No. So
I think you did.
I wouldn't do that. I do. You are the head of the family. I do obey you.